All right, so this match review, to start off our match reviews for this Monday, is going to be a Demogorgon game. Demogorgon, we Oregon. It's coming from our good friend, our good homie KMD, which has actually not been here today, which is interesting. Homie has 1.2k hours in the game, which is above that adept zone where you should have around 1k hours is when I expect you to know most of the Dead by Daylight fundamentals. There's a lot of stuff that you can do better, but you should know the simple things like hug tiles as tight as possible when chasing, you know, moonwalking to hide your red stain, just stuff like that. That's fairly simple that you learn. You should already have that under your belt. Homie said they had a particularly difficult match. You're on Coal Tower, which is a fairly balanced map, both in its normal and variation versions. So it's not the map that's working against you, but let's take a look at Yaon's perks. Yeah, the bit rate's kind of stinky. You're using I don't know what that is. That perk is. The rest of your build is extremely strong. You're running 3 slowdowns. So this is a very, very intense build. No matter what you're running in that final slot, it's enduring, is it? Because I can't tell because it's just the demo's face. Oh, it says up here, up on the fucking thing. Custom pack. Homie knew custom icon pack is enduring. That's interesting that you pick enduring on a character that has already has a ton of palette utility with a shred, especially since you're running Barb's Glasses and Blackheart, which is what you should be running. Yeah, I feel like once again, very, very strong build, but enduring is the odd man out here. Enduring's pretty nice on demo? I wouldn't think so. Especially with Barb's Glasses. What is the issue with not just shredding through the pallet? Just getting the pallet away, recovering super quickly and hitting them. Why would you take the stun anyway? It feels like a solution to a problem that is going to be happening very occasionally, which is not what I would run in terms of consistent success. Yeah, even Bamboozle would be more helpful here. That would be the perk, definitely be the perk that I would swap out. This is definitely a quality of life comfort pick and not a consistency, good in terms of consistency pick. Thank you for saying something. It is a good thing to put your portal down. Oh, put your portal down vaguely where you spawned. Yeah, people send in a singularity reviews. We actually have a fairly high amount. I feel like that's a character I get a lot. You forked those knives, yeah. I like how quick and snappy you are with your shreds. Don't overdo it, but yeah, good first chase. Oh, that's unfortunate. So what you need to do now, since you said this is something that is that troubles you, this match is this person that's saboing. Essentially, Sabo in a certain kind of extent serves as an antithesis, an opponent to Scourge hooks. It is the answer to Scourge hooks. What I would do in this point is not go for these super long carries for your pain res. Once you realize that somebody is going for Sabo plays, unless you have something like agitation to help you, you're essentially going to be perpetually at risk of dropping the survivor because of that Sabo gamer. So I would not be going for super long hooks while you know there's a Sabo gamer in the game. Keep in mind, for every character in the game except Xenomorph, the survivor has 10 grunts on your shoulder just by default before they wiggle out. Obviously, that'll be sped up with Breakout. Xenomorph has 6.5 for some reason. He's the only character in the game with a different wiggle sound count before the wiggle off, which is weird. But keep in mind that you shouldn't be going for these super long hooks now. I'll let you know. You still get this too. Oh, I've done that before. Yeah, she could have, see, for example there, she could have just been an easy M1. She could have just been an easy M1 there. You were trying to go for the shred because you like shredding, but sometimes just take the M1. That's something I've had to learn on Xenomorph. It's while I really like hitting people with tail attacks and I want to keep my tail attack numbers up, I'm foregoing a lot of pressure just by not emoting when I really should. Yeah, just M1 right here. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that, Xenomorph? Yeah. Xenomorph, the official wiggle count in terms of grunts is 6.5. Why are you vaulting, man? Never ever vault a T-wall. Never ever vault a T-wall. Even with Bamboozle, it's kind of questionable. Much less just doing it raw like that. Never ever vault T-walls. T-walls are the one of the weakest, if not just outright the weakest general tile that spawns on every single map. So like, don't be out here vaulting T-walls. Do not do that. It takes courage to improve and to have humility to be like, okay, well maybe I'm not the best. So you're already better than a lot of people who just kind of like yell and cry and complain at the game by even wanting to potentially spin a match over here. You're doing fairly well early on. No gens have popped. You're having short chases. Only the one that with Maria was kind of long, but like not like horrendously so. Yeah, I mean it is weird, Xeno, because he is literally the only one in the game that has a different one. I would have just shredded that door instead of stopping to kick it. Yeah, he's literally the only one in the game with a different one, so it is just odd for some reason. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Why do you like vaulting so much? Usually you don't vault this tile either. Usually with the double long wall, what you do, luckily she's kind of not paying attention, so it kind of doesn't matter, is with a double long wall, you kind of play it like kind of like an awkward L wall T wall. Because the whole point of L wall T wall is to like prevent the fast vault. So there's the vault here and the vault here. So when she vaults this, you would take it around to the right, because that prevents her from getting the fast vault on this long wall, which means she has to immune vault, which means she gets hit either way. I've noticed you kind of have a hankering just for vaulting through everything after people. Unless you have BAM or like with Xenomorph, you have a specific add-on that helps you vault quicker. That does slow you down a fair bit. Luckily she makes a mistake, but it's not a good habit to have. Yeah, once again, you kind of didn't learn your lesson from last time. You're like, no, I'm getting my pain res hooks. So she gets you again in the same situation, where you're greeting max range for a hook because you want your Scourge hook when you know there's a Sabo gamer in the match. Unfortunate. You're doing a good thing here by focusing her, because if she's going to consistently be denying you hooks the entire game, I mean, if she's dead, she can't do that. That was a good dodge on her part. That was not her. That was not you playing bad. That was her playing well. Yeah, you are a Vaulter Walter, homie. You are a Vaulter Walter. This is a bad habit. You should not be vaulting this much in chase. Like, your vaulted killer is super slow. like vaulting for survivors, pretty quick affair. Vaulting for you as killer, it's super slow. You shouldn't be doing this like every single chase consistently. And there are some mind games where it's helpful, like at long wall jungle gyms or shack, where you fake one way and then vault through after them. Something like that makes sense, but you're vaulting like every single loop. Every time there's a window, including the L2 wall, which was the funny one, every single time there's a loop with a vault, you're trying to do a window mind game by vaulting through. And that's not necessary or efficient on every single loop. Sometimes it is, like I said, long wall jungle gyms, yeah. Shack, yeah. But like, you're vaulting every window, every chase, and you're losing a lot of distance and time because of it. I'm the one who vaults. I'm glad you didn't kick that. She's got that Demogorgon balance landing. Comp landing, as some people put it. See, this is the funny thing. Is like, I've noticed this is something you do, because like I was warning you earlier, like worrying about like shredding too much. I know that's what you find fun about the character. Trust me, I get it because of the tail attack thing on Xenomorphs. But like, you know how much nicer and happier life would have been if you just forced this pallet down and kicked it earlier? Because we've been at this loop like 2 or 3 times. And that pallet's still up, so people just keep coming back and looping it. Imagine if this pallet was just gone, they just have nothing, and it should be a free hit here. Something to think about. Something to consider. Oh, she messed up. Sometimes the answer is just forcing the pallet down. Woo! Oh, he tried it. He messed it up, but he tried it. Now that's a perk combo that needs change. Good idea to slike her if you know she's going to be like positioning for the Sabo, but if you don't get this, let's say if you don't get this down, yeah, that's a nerd. If you don't get this down fairly soon, yeah, you shouldn't commit to it. Just take that on Meg. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The main reason you're losing this match is because you're trying to create Scourge hooks. When you know there's a Sabo gamer, which is just like, you've had so many downs that do not convert to hooks because you're just like, no, you're kind of being, not, I mean this in a negative way or offensive way, but like you're being kind of stubborn about like getting your Scourge hook value. Yes, pain res is the best loadout in the game and does a tremendous amount of damage because it's flat damage to the gens, but like, you know what's the best pressure? Having a survivor dead. Ideally, if you want to sweat as much as possible, you would just go after Meg here. You may not be in a position where you have to right here. That was funny. Okay, now you definitely should go after Meg because there's a gen finish and now you're at 2 gens. Yeah, you should be going to find Meg here. But instead you're chasing a survivor that you don't have. Once again with the wall thing. You should break off and chase Meg here. Yeah. I don't know why she's body blocking here. She's literally, the Death Hook gamer is literally body blocking for somebody that has 0 hooks and you're not chasing the Death Hook gamer. I don't know why. I don't know why you're not seizing the opportunity here. Once again, is it because you got robbed there. You hit him. That's just the game being funky, but you shouldn't be chasing him in general. Once again, you're kind of like going way too in with these shreds. You shouldn't even be chasing this guy. You should be chasing the person that's Death Hook. Is it because you want your like Pain Res Grim Embrace? I feel like you're wanting so much value out of Grim Embrace and Pain Res that you're literally throwing the game for perk value. Yeah, you should have been on Meg like the moment the moment you hit 2 gens. Brother, you gotta stop fucking vaulting. Brother. You gotta stop vaulting literally every single fucking chase. There's nothing particular about Demo that makes him vault faster or makes vaults better for him in chase. The fact that you're vaulting every single window, every single chase, every single time is just letting the survivors get distance on you. That's all that's doing. There are some instances where you can mind, like I said, long wall jungle gym where you mind game them, they run back in front of the window, you vault, and suddenly they've lost a lot of distance. You're not doing that. You're just vaulting every single window as if you can vault at the same speed as survivors. It's not that good. Let's go, Megan. She is who she should be chasing because she is Death Hook. Ooh, she played that really well. That's not your fault. That was a really good fake. See this? This is a perfect example of a good vault. Because she's running like straight towards you. And you can hear her through the wall. She's not doubling back because you're listening to her, right? So she ends up running straight into you. This is a good vault. You see the crossbars going out, you see her going right, you listen, and you hear her grunting at about the position of this locker on the right, so you know she's moving without looking at you. So what you're going to do is you're going to vault through this window. She has to double back now, and now you're in a situation where as she goes into shack, she either has to fake the vault and hope you miss, or riskily take the vault and get hit. This is kind of a lose-lose situation for her. This is a good vault. This is like any character that has a sort of projectile, sort of lunge. This is how you play shack. This is how you play the killer shack. Perfect. You shouldn't be doing this every single tile. You shouldn't be doing this every single tile. Yeah, but you fall for the fake, unfortunately. That should have been a hit. And if anything, that's on you. I'm not trying to be mean to you. That's on you. Does anybody know why there was no reason they should have fallen for that? Does anybody remember the other match reviews we talk about? Why should this have not worked in a million years? Item, yes. Yep. The medkit is in their hands. What happens when you vault to an item in your hands? When you vault in Dead by Daylight, does the item stay in your hand? Yeah, the item disappears. Vault animations, your item does not carry over. So you should have seen her up against this window, and the fact that that bright red medkit is still there, and realized that she wasn't actually vaulting. With lunge characters, with projectile killers, this is like paramount. You have to know this. You have to know this. Because you end up in a lot of situations like this where you're going to be barely getting the hit right here. And their only option is to fake last second. This is actually in the Xeno guide. Like, you be chasing somebody towards shack pallet, they're going to fake last second. And you got to account for that. The exact situation that you're in right now is right here. It's this image that I made right here. Is that you're coming into the back door, they're going in to the window, and they're going to fake last second because they know that you are either A, a projectile killer, or B, a lunge killer. So they're going to fake last second. So this is something that you have to be prepared for if you're playing this kind of killer. Doubly so the fact that she had a medkit, and it was very clear to see that she was not actually vaulting. That's entirely on you. Jackie is rating me in the middle of a demo match with you too. Well, people. Hey Jackie, thank you so much for the raid, friend. I very much appreciate that. Hopefully your stream was all. I know you were not pleased with the changes that came through today. Hey Eric, it's good to see you. And we're doing a match review of somebody in the stream that wanted to get more consistent, better at Dead by Daylight. I was in a Demogorgon match. At this point, you're just trying to like salvage an extra kill, maybe by forcing a really bad, like hooking him far away from the door, maybe. But like that's not really happening because all the action is right here, right by the door itself. You should be able to get that. The Sabo situation is going to make it kind of ugly though, because Maria's right there and she's lurking with background player. Yep. And she's going to use breakout here. She has a flashlight now. Yeah, she's yeah, now Jake just gets out for free. I would have tried to at least. Oh yeah, he just gets out for free now. I would have at least tried to keep carrying him. You probably wouldn't have made it with breakout, but like you don't know technically for sure that she has breakout, so it'd be at least worth trying. Yeah, what you just did just essentially guaranteed him out. Well, just coming back the last second, like hi. All right. I don't really need to see their builds. Their builds are not why you lost, but I can take a peek to see if they were in nasty. Yeah, Jake tried to do for the people buckle up stuff, but well, it's kind of hard to tell with the perk back. I see buckle up for sure. I'm sure for the people is in there somewhere. in turn of this match review, luckily, a lot of this is actually on you. Like, I know you said in the description that a lot of it seemed kind of like, you know, I don't know what I could have done better, but there's actually a lot you actually could have done better in this situation. So first, and the obvious one is, and this is something that I see a lot of people do, is in terms of your perk value with Scourge Hook Pain Res. Pain Res is the best slowdown perk in the game, but you ran into a situation where you had a Sabo gamer. You had somebody going for Sabo plays, and you don't have agitation or anything like that. If you didn't know, Saboteur, the actual perk Saboteur, which Maria does have, actually does highlight Scourge Hooks for you. So she is essentially your arch enemy when you have this perk on. So she was calling out every single time whenever you were trying to go for a Scourge Hook, which often, if you don't have agitation, you are usually getting to that 7 to 10 grunt, like that barely making it zone, just because that's how Scourge Hook RNG works. Didn't know that? Well, now you do. Well, shit, every day is a school day. Now you do. So she knows what you're doing, and she knows what you're going for. And despite the fact that you realize that that's what she's doing, you continue to try and grease Scourge Hooks for the rest of the game. So lo and behold, what keeps happening? She keeps saboing, and you keep losing hook states that you could have had. So I always say this as like a comparison, is like DPD is essentially just a form of communication. It's a conversation between two people. You said, I have pain res and I'm going to be hooking people with pain res. And Maria said, I have Sabo and background player, so I'm saying no. But you didn't listen to her. She said, no, that's not happening. And instead of listening to her, you said, no, I'm going to do it anyway. What if I do it anyway? And she said, no, I told you no. You need to listen to the fact that I said no. You ignored her. So your consequence for ignoring her was that you kept losing hooks as a result. You should have listened the first time. Should have listened the first time. So you ended up in a lot of situations where you're losing hooks because you wanted perk value so badly. If you would just listen to the communication first off, which was like, hey, I have literally like, I have 3 perks. I have 3 perks dedicated to stopping you from doing what you want to do, and you ignored it. Like, this could have been a much different situation if you actually listened. But in general, just for general advice, if you are aware that somebody is a Sabo gamer and you don't have agitation with your Scourge Hook, be a bit wary about carrying people to the max carry distance for that 10 grunt distance, because by and large they will probably be there to Sabo the hook, and you will lose a lot of hook states that way. Second, in terms of your takeaways, is please stop vaulting every single loop, every single chase. The vaults are there mostly as a survivor tool, and it can be helpful for killer as well. But you seem to think that for some reason, killer vaults are really, really strong and helpful at literally every single loop, which is not the case. L wall, T walls, almost always win without looping. Like 99% of the time, you can win without vaulting an L wall, T wall because they're so weak. That double long wall, you don't need to vault to win that tile. Luckily that Cheryl messed up, but as you found out in a different chase there, that like, yeah, vaulting doesn't just win that tile. If anything, you could just counter, you could force, just like an LT, I'll force them counterclockwise, deny the fast vault, and suddenly, you know, the same result happens without you losing a bunch of chase time. So that's kind of like, you know, it may not seem like it, like, okay, but that's only like 2 or 3, 4 seconds of chase time that I lose by vaulting every single tile that I enter. But when you're doing it every single loop, and most chases take place in like 1 or 2 loops, sometimes 3, if you're adding 4 seconds every single tile that you enter per chase, that time adds up. You're adding an extra like 8 to 10 seconds a chase, every single chase. You know what I'm saying? If you think of it that way, suddenly you're like, oh, okay, that's not too good. If I came up to you and I said, okay, we're gonna add 8 to 10 seconds to your total chase time and there's nothing you can do about it, you'd be like, bro, no, that's stupid. Why would I take that? But you're doing it to yourself by vaulting unnecessarily every single tile. So you need to vault only in cases where like you can actually perform a mind game, like at Shack or Long Wall Jungle Gyms. Just like with that chase with Meg, where she almost like vaulted straight, or almost ran straight into you as you came out the vault, and then you lined up the shred shot. Perfect example. That's a great time to vault. But without BAM or without like superior anatomy or something, you should not be vaulting that much. You should not be. So that is a very, very bad habit that's adding a lot of time to your chase time, which is, you know, match time is gen time. So you got to save those seconds. Lastly, I would actually encourage you to like shred a little less. I know that's kind of going to be hard for you to hear in particular, because I know that's like one of the biggest things you love about this character. But like, there were so many times where if you had just M1'd the person in front of you instead of going for some fancy shred, like you would have had him up on hook instead of like at the next pallet or at the next tile or whatever. Like you missed out on a lot of free pressure and free hits because you were trying to go for a fancy shot over a shot that was guaranteed. I know it's kind of like part of the fun of playing an M2 killer is going for as many like flashy M2 shots as possible, but I think it actively hurts you because you forewent going for M1s that were easy for the sake of, I guess, just fun. I know. I mean, like, it sucks to say like have less fun, do the safe thing, but like in terms of a consistency, in terms of a match review, you're asking me how to consistently get better. You forewent a lot of pressure trying to go for flashy shreds, and it didn't really work out for you. So definitely, if somebody's in front of you and you can just hit them with an M1, just hit them with an M1. You don't always have to go for the special attack, because as you found out, you're going to be just barely missing a lot or hitting the environment a lot, and then that extends the chase, and now that chase time adds up. I think this is a very, very interesting match review to send in, because it kind of shows just like, on the surface, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of very, very glaring mistakes. Like, obviously, the big one is like trying to carry people max range to Scourge hooks, right? That's the big one. But like, there's a lot of like micro mistakes that add up here in terms of chase efficiency, like the vaulting too much, like the going for shreds and missing a lot. That just adds to your chase timer. Because like, you didn't have any single one chase that was like, okay, you chased them for like 2 minutes. Why would you ever do that? But all of your chases were very bloated in time, despite themselves not being egregious. So having your chases just in general all consistently be slightly above average, that adds up in the background. So I would work on not vaulting every single loop. Shred when you need to, not just every single hit that you want. And then if you know there's a Sabo gamer, don't carry your survivors max distance, because that's exactly what they want you to do.